Sarah Smith, her topic is systemic problem.
Thank you. I'll give the same warning, and the part that I'm going to read is more graphic than the other one, so if anyone was uncomfortable with the previous one, now might be a nice time to exit. Okay. Thank you, Board President Tenorio, School Board, Superintendent Ruiz. I'm Sarah Smith from the New Mexico Freedoms Alliance. In July 2023, Juan Garcia and I met with President Tenorio, Dr. Miller Tomlinson, and Acting Superintendent O'Brien to discuss our concerns about age-inappropriate books in Las Cruces school libraries. At that time, you committed to developing a policy to have a committee of parents and teachers review books before they are placed in school libraries. Have you made any progress towards putting that into place? As Juan already described, we are concerned about the systemic issue of books not being evaluated appropriately before they are put in your schools. I'm going to read you more sections from A Court of Silver Flames. In the Brannigan Public Library here in Las Cruces, this book and the rest of the series are in the adult section, which is where they should be. Yet this book was placed in 3 high school libraries as well as Sierra Middle School, where it can be accessed by kids down to 11 years old. It's kind of hard to read this stuff in public. Okay. He thrust up into her mouth. She took him deep and moaned so loudly it reverberated along his cock and straight into his balls. They tightened further, and release gathered in his spine, a scorching knot that had him arcing into her mouth again. Gripping her hair, her scalp, holding her in place, he thrust his hips. She met him with each stroke, mouth and hand working in unison until the slick heat of her, the teeth that sometimes grazed him, teased him, the tightness of her fist, they were unbearable, were all he cared about. Cassian fucked her mouth, and her moaning had him deciding he'd fuck the rest of her too. Strip those pants off her and drive into her so hard she'd be screaming his name to the ceiling. It keeps going in much more detail. Some of you look uncomfortable, as well you should. This is just one of many sexually explicit passages in this book. This book is clearly not age appropriate for children and young teens. It is not enough for school librarians to rely on the American Library Association and the School Library Journal to choose which books will be in your libraries. It would not have been hard to determine that this book is not appropriate for a middle school. The back says it is an erotic romance. Why would anyone place an erotic romance book in a public school? This book and other books in the series at Sierra Middle School are listed as lost in the library catalog. Presumably, that means that a student either never turned these in or stole them off the shelf without checking them out. Books in this series are currently checked out from some of your high schools right now. You are allowing kids to be exposed to age-inappropriate, pornographic content by your inaction. I call on you now to fulfill the commitment you made last summer, to develop a committee for reviewing books before they end up on your library shelves, as well as to perform an audit of the books existing in your libraries right now. Thank you.
We are on agenda